what Milcreo did there, back against the wall, just ensuring that he's not going to be able to dodge those shots by dashing through him. Nice stuff again as he gets this early wall break and predicts the dash through to shoot backwards. Milcreo going for the ball, but will be quickly shut down by the Mo. An overkill from Achape as he throws out a super as well.
Yeah, a little backup to help the low HP Mo. He's going to be dribbling the ball. Kenji back in action. We've seen what he can do on this Mortis pick. He is threatening. That previous set was so good out of him, but this time he's got some difficult matchups. Something like Cordelius, Otis, not a fun time as Achape's just been kind of spawn locked here. Milcreo up in his face looking for a super. I see dodges, but will finally go.
Yeah, well, at least he got another shot off. Should be a bit closer to that super once more, which is the real driving factor and goal scoring ability that Mo brings to the table. Kenji going to try and get the multiple back hits. Milcreo just pops a hypercharge, doesn't even use super, just use it to obliterate the Mortis and get that attack speed up. Still in a defensive stance though, ABC just waiting for their turn to go aggressive.
Despite CR definitely winning what I feel like is the KD category, they haven't been able to grab this ball very easily. Great puppy guard.
Hello guys, welcome to the stream. क्या हाल चाल है आप लोगों के?
If they really need it out of the spike, a cutoff on the left-hand side from Tensai, a light plant necessary, a dive forward. IC survives, that's a big one as well. Tensai kicks this ball to the left-hand side. Don't know if I agree with that choice, just kind of had to get rid of it quickly, but now it's the ABC side who can take complete control with it.
Yeah, well, Kenji does his maths wrong by 13 there, thought that the super and gadget would have been able to kill Tensai and give him a chance to score, but they're in a good position now. Hypercharge almost ready to go for the side of ABC here on the Mo. Needs to get this super to be able to use it really successfully and try and score, because we've seen that a few times today where the Mo just gets hypercharge, gets the ball, and the ball is in the back of the net. Still, it's still 0-0, so yet to make a move either side.
Frank gets transitioned from being fully offensive to a stalwart on defense. He is just waiting around by this ball, has a super available. If anybody from the red roster thinks they can move forward, he will be there to smash them with a hammer. Right now, though, as overtime approaches, it's something that the CR side has to consider. Both ends looking to make moves here, dumping that ball off. Hypercharge being popped. Icy elects to go for it. Low HP will survive. This could be a great flank for ABC.
Yes, amazing timing to get a kill there, but it's turned around and they get two on the other side. Crazy Recruit trying to move this ball forward. Hypercharge used just to get in the position to pass this forward. Milcreo goes for the super, but caught off the line by IC. Achape still standing tall here as well. Couple of mushrooms collected. Kenji trying to get the super, throws it out, gets the connection onto Milcreo as well. And a 1-2-3 pass of the ball might get this one in the back of the net with only Tensai left. Needs to get a super, and he's going to go for the shots instead. The shot goes left, and Milcreo's there to collect.
Rushed it a little bit, and now they have a super available for two brawlers. They've spaced the floor. A kick over to the right-hand side. Oh, that had to have been an auto-aim. Nonetheless, though, Frank makes up for it. CR grab a win and a much-needed one. For a scrappy game like that, for them to come away with game number 1 victory, I think is a big deal.
Yeah, well, a slight overcommit there, I think, defensively and offensively from Kenji. Not the best position to be in to try and score that goal. I mean, I thought they were going to be able to pass that one straight up and get the goal, but a very well-timed hypercharge from Tensai kind of fended that off in the end.
Close calls for both ends. It's CR who persevere, lobbing a life plant up the middle. It's going to be Frank, either Milcreo, or it could be Moya, no telling, but one of the two is at the top of your map right now, while the other, rocking the Cordelius, outranged by a mile. Mo can just keep the distance and keep poking away. It's going to take a lot of prowess of mechanics to move up this map.
Curveball not finding the desired connections for Achape. Life Plank going to be paced down, and there's the super coming in. Tensai slow.
ये लोग हर बार स्पाइक ले रहे हैं भाई. Achape हर बार स्पाइक ले रहा है, हर बार Kenji Mortis ले रहा है.
Against the wall, and Milcreo's got that locked down. Every time Kenji wants to make a move, he ensures that he can't dash through him.
Super available for Kenji, but this red roster is just kind of hanging around. They're actually going to rotate him to that other side. Gadget pierces through that wall. Not enough to get a kill. Cordelius able to recharge a little bit. This is where it gets scary, though. A takedown on that right-hand side. 3 brawlers walking their way up the middle. Kenji dribbling. A meat shield of Achape trying to do his best. A gadget goes through. Oh, and they get the shutdown just in the nick of time. CR survive.
Yeah, just about with about 500 HP apiece to the two defending brawlers of Milcreo and Tensai. And a hypercharge available from Achape again. Fast spot to use on the left-hand side. And Milcreo just waiting behind this wall. Can't be baited here as Kenji trying to dash through. Needs the super to be able to survive this one. Gets some good heals off the double connection. Goes for the gadget and gets supered himself. The slow and stuns there, but Achape will refrag.
Spike hypercharge is just too much to handle for poor Frank, despite having one of his own. Just not enough. Slowed down the DPS. Goes up to 1,000,000 when the purple button is popping. Kenji right back in the mix. I don't know about that one. Kind of just dashed into multiple enemies with easy lineup of shots.
Yeah, well, the super from Milkro again won't find any connections, and a hypercharge available for the Mo on the right-hand side, but he gets picked up quickly. And Kenji not going to be the best in this situation against the two remaining brawlers on the side of CR. Tensai gets hit, and Kenji dashing forwards, yet again miscalculating the damage that gadget's going to do.
Supers available for all members of ABC, and now they have positioning of the map. They're just forced to throw Frank at the enemy sides. He's dribbling, gonna dump this on the top left-hand side. Anything to just make the red roster have to regroup and readjust how they move forward.
Kenji, hypercharge there, and he's gonna use it. Not really to the best of his abilities, I don't think. That would have been much better served in the overtime situation that we're about to go into, especially with Milkreo and Tensai supers and hypercharges in hand. IC gonna need to work for one of his own. Milkreo just going for the walk forward. Knows that the Mo wants the super, but he's not even going to at all. Now he'll go for it as well, and this could be a huge turnaround. They get the kill, the curveball's not finding Tensai. The hypercharge super kills him. Kenji goes forwards, and I don't think this is going to be a goal.
Both of these sides making clutch defensive stances. This just got a whole lot trickier for ABC, who almost had a shoe-in. If they don't land that stun, this is definitely over. Now, as a result, CR have an opportunity to at least progress. 30 seconds is all that remains in overtime.
I see really going to want this super here and does get it. Achapi gets one of his own as well, and CR looking dry in terms of supers. Kenji should be able to pick up Milkreo here, and Achapi holding on to his. Might want to use it for a pass. IC can go forwards and wait for the ball that Achapi can provide, but at the moment they're not synchronizing it well. Kenji needs to go in, free up some room. Now IC comes through, and the correct decision was made, as this is a big game for ABC up next.
We've seen CR persevere in some
अगर ये गेम जीती तो जीत जाएगी KC oh sorry ABC.
I don't think a lot of us would have expected ABC to push them this far. To call it early, if you will, not even making a set 5 would be a disastrous result. Crazy Raccoon are a team with high expectations. Many expect them to win this entire monthly finals. Instead, they're fighting against a band of brothers with a lot to prove. None of them have made World Finals in a long time. A kick forward, just short. Easy catch up for Achapi here. We're gonna be able to play clean up, a dodge on the Frank, a nice tag. Tensai maintains, but nonetheless, red roster still hold on.
Hello, Brawly Brawl.
Saved by his teammate there. Achapi doing a great job, and he'll get another kill at the top as well. Ball just being placed over the right-hand side, seemingly wanting to play this one a little slower. Kenji dashing through, can't find the double back connection, but IC will get some great charge off it.
Now a dive forward, Mo goes underground, will pop up right in Frank's face. They're gonna have to dash this ball on.
यार बहुत बेकार खेल रही है भाई, पता नहीं कैसे.
Can safely grab this. Has a hypercharge available for Mo. And instead of taking off, gonna strategically place it on this right-hand side. Oh, but a great tag out of Frank. Now he's got a super available. Sees Tensai with a possible button as well. Instead just goes for the hypercharge. The pure stats enough to walk him in. CR match with a goal.
Yeah, surprising to see him commit a super to that as well. I thought he was just going to accept that Crazy Raccoon were going to score there. Big game now as it's 1-0 up for Crazy Raccoon. They're wanting to drag this to a set 5. Kenji misses his first dash, but finds the double back connection. Milkreo will be his next target, and in goes IC with the hypercharge. Finds the kill and gets some good shots in as well.
Good on Frank to at least get rid of the ball and make them move for it, but Achapi's still holding plenty of positioning. And a purple button in the back pocket as well. Now Frank with a super available, flashing it constantly. Just hard to work with that distance. Now slowed down as well. He's just a sitting duck. Nothing he can do. Mo with a quick TP forward, goes underground, burrowing his way up. Now the net wide open. All 3 members of ABC punch one through, and it's tied up here.
Free supers है भाई, Frank लिया इसलिए.
Will take down your defending world champions.
Just 1 goal away from the 3rd upset, and we're only in the quarterfinals. Huge moment for ABC as Achapi has the super. Tensai, hypercharge of his own. Milkreo needs to work for a super to make use of his. Milkreo just waiting in the wings on the left-hand side. Kenji going aggressive, and he gets pulled in. Can he get the double back off? Hypercharge found out of nowhere, and he'll get the kill on the Frank. Now moving forwards is Milkreo forced to pop the hypercharge and go aggressive, but he gets killed by the Mo. And positioning power with ABC.
Tensai in a brutal spot. The 3-timer now has to play full-on defense while Frank and Cordelius respond. It's ABC in prime positioning. Tensai putting his body on the line. Can't dodge enough, though. Super goes down. Takedown available. And Cordelius nowhere in sight. It's upset number 3 for the day. The defending world champions have fallen.
Absolutely incredible.
World champions पर आ दिया भाई.
What an upset. That 3 out of the 4 quarterfinals have gone in arguably the opposite way than the majority of people would have thought. ABC going huge here in the East Asia region, shaking things up. What a moment for them. incredible, incredible performance.
Kenji was moments away from retiring, from never setting foot in this game again. And what does he do in his opening debut? Absolutely pops off. Back-to-back Mortis sets where he was
अच्छा भी है वैसे तो
he
MVP.
shook up roster mania in this entire region. He put teams on new rosters. You know what? He just earned his spot. He took down CR. He's very familiar with these opponents. I'm thoroughly impressed. This is just resetting my entire expectations of what I thought East Asia was going to be.
I mean, yeah, expectations definitely been shook here, despite Kenji, yeah, being maybe a little rusty. But as we established before, I think we can answer that question if he de-rusted with a definite yes. His Mortis, an absolute menace. A Choppy and Icy also doing super, super well. It shouldn't be as surprising as it is to us, honestly. ABC did win the icebreaker, the kickoff event coming into the BSC season, yet still, it's Crazy Raccoon. They're three-time champion Tensai. We definitely thought that they would at least make it into the semis.
It's tough. It really is for Crazy Raccoon, a situation that we did not think was going to happen coming into today. But then again, you know, you look at the other side. Yes, they may have not have done as much collectively as the members of Crazy Raccoon. They've just won World Finals. But you look at their achievements over the years, and you're like, is it that big of an upset? Like, was it that unthinkable when you look at Kenji, who's been incredible over the years? You know, IC was a
इधर गए बाउइन भाई.
who kind of got pushed a little bit aside, but really fighting to make his mark in this region. And what a way to start 2026 for them, getting the world champions taken down in the first quarterfinals.
Even though Crazy Raccoon are the reigning champions, I feel like this quarterfinal number 4 was the closest one of the upsets we had today. But now we're heading into semi-finals, and we have 3 teams there that at least none of us expected to be there. I hope your predictions at home are going better. You can still head over to event.brawlstars.com to check those icons and pins. Make sure to lock in your predictions for the semis. And both of those are quite juicy, not gonna lie. I don't know where to go with just yet for my prediction for semifinal number 2. The first one is gonna be Zeta versus Rival. And what do you guys feel? Who's gonna take this one?
I think this is a hard one to call. I'm going to stick with Zeta. I picked them in the preseason to be the number 1 from this region and also picked them to win here today on the event site beforehand. I think it's going to take a lot for me to change my mind in that. I would feel much more regret if I switched my prediction halfway through and then was also wrong. That'd be a double whammy, and I've already missed enough predictions today, so I'm holding the line. I'm holding the line.
I'm praying on Zeta. Otherwise, my event site predictions are complete chalked. Like, I've got Zeta going all the way to the finals and winning it, so I'm heavily relying on them now.
Yes, so I also went with Zeta, but I would also be super happy for Rival Esports to be in the finals. Having that big of a shakeup this year and today as our very first monthly final of the year, I think that would be super awesome. Rival Esports, have they been in the grand final of a monthly final before, Kenny?
I mean, it's going to be a tough one for WWL to get through with this. I think ABC I'm much more expected, but it's kind of awesome to see somebody like Zeta Division on the top, who I fully expected to be here. But on the bottom, it's just 2 new rosters. Rival Esports coming in the mix. These are the ones that I would expect to be these underdogs. Awesome performances overall. It jazzed me up for the semifinals. I love seeing something new.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you look at Zeta Division and they're going to be smiling from ear to ear looking at this bracket, seeing their biggest opponents who you'd argue throughout the year. You're looking at Reject, you're looking at Crazy Raccoon, both of them their biggest rivals when it comes to this region as a whole, at least on paper throughout the last couple of years. And now they've got a bracket where they can leap so far ahead of them if they go and win this. And don't get me wrong, Zeta, regardless of all the upsets, are the favourites coming into this one to go and win it all now. And that puts them so far ahead of their competition, which will be incredible for them.
Kenny, you and me both had Zeta Division to win it all today. Rival on the other side, though, they did take Crazy Raccoon to a 3-2 in the qualifiers already. Now winning against SK Kalalas 3-0, I think we might have just underestimated them, and Zeta might not be smiling as much as you said, Trev, because Rival is just looking super strong today.
Yeah, I think in fairness, like, I obviously am going to take Rival way more seriously.
Yeah.
Now, I think they've earned that credibility. I still think Zeta Division should be favorites of all months, especially when defending world champions and top seeds of last year are out of the equation. This is a month that you have to get it done. They could take this is a huge opportunity for them. They were already borderline favorites, I would say, coming into this one. And now that we have 3 teams that weren't expected to be here, this is a must-win month for me.
Well, we're going down semi-final number 1. Zeta Division versus Rival Esports. It's going to be a banger.
Yeah, well, Zeta Division in a position, as we've just said, to extend, I mean, it's the first month, I'm going to say extend their lead, but they are the favourites coming into this one as a whole, I think, before it even started. But with all their opposition, or their main opposition throughout the year, out of the way, they're in a position to really, really take a big lead when it comes to the future months. Shtampo Suzuku and Batterman here ready to fight
टेम्पो
the
भाई
final.
है भाई इसमें.
But as you just mentioned, Sonny, you know, we can't write off Rival Esports. They've come today as the underdog in their matchup, swept, and I think they're a team to be taken very, very seriously.
The draft looked pretty solid. They're now drafting against none other than Mineshi, also a new addition to that Zeta Division roster. It's Rohei, Totor, and Utopin. And Rohei here playing with two newcomers, two tier 2 players that we haven't really seen in any of the big matches coming into 2025 this year either. So yeah, we're gonna get Kenny a quick break, a well-deserved rest after he just rushed through all of those quarterfinals, and we get Arc back. You watched those matches. How are your predictions looking?
Let's not talk about that for now. There's no need. We don't have to dwell on that, but very jealous for Kenny. I mean, like, having those 4 quarterfinals for a day, I mean, of all times, what a crazy, crazy start to 2026. Absolutely nuts. But it just goes to show the level of competition is taking a real step up.
We're taking a step up here with actually being in a studio, and the players seemed to, deliver today as well. We had so many nice matches. We had 2 3-0s at the beginning, so I was kind of like, is that going to be our day today? Kind of sad, but yeah, you're right. Now the 3-2 for WWL. I might just actually side with them now for the semi-final number 2. I think they're going to take it all today.
It's a bold one. It's a bold one, I will say, but they've proven themselves very heavily. They have, and to be fair, everybody in these quarterfinals has as well. I think we've seen 3 underdogs win, so that, especially the lower part of the bracket, is anyone's game now. The upper one, I'm still thinking Zeta Division are going to come into this one as the heavy favourites, but Rival Esports absolutely have more of a say in this than we'd have given them credit for at the start of the day.
We've seen all of those teams now already on different maps, though, because we are swapping those out. We're now in Shooting Star, Double Swoosh, Pinhole, Punt Bells, Rock, and Safe Zone. We've seen those 2 teams. So do you feel like Zeta Division today, because sometimes it also depends on the day, is looking stronger than Rival is? They've looked so good against SK Kalalas.
It's a really tough one to call for me. I mean, I did think the Zeta were going to make that first quarterfinals look a bit easier than it actually was, in all honesty. Rival, again, didn't really count them to do much today, and then they completely exceeded my expectations. There is a world, a very real world, in which this goes the way against Zeta. And I wouldn't be opposed to anyone who wants to slow a Rival here. They've got that momentum, that wind in their sails, and sometimes that's all you need.
And Trev, for you, we have new maps now. Anyone in particular looking forward to? Maybe some new brawler picks as well on one of these maps?
Yeah, listen, I love me some Double Swoosh. I think it's a map where a lot of brawlers can be picked. The map can be molded to certain, different qualities for different brawlers. I love how bushy it is, how unpredictable it can be at certain times. I think that's a really solid map. And we've been seeing a lot of sharpshooters regardless, but I think Shooting Star really brings that out. And as the first map, we might see a little bit of a different, less aggressive vibe than we have been throughout the rest of these first quarterfinals.
Very true. We had a lot of long-range maps already, like Bridge Too Far, one of the heist maps that just demand to have some long-range bowlers on your side. Now with Shooting Star, another long-range map, I think Zeta Division is gonna play quite well into that because they are mechanically gifted. We like to say that very often. They like the aggressive playstyle, so not sure if we're going to see some mix-up here. Not just Pierce, Angelo, Nani, Piper, all of those long-range bowlers, but maybe a super aggressive comp Max, some healers.
That's what I'm hoping for. Give me the Max on Shooting Star. It's a classic, and it's got a great amount of aggression behind it, but also great counters into a lot of those brawlers that you mentioned already, like Nani and the Piper examples like that. So for me, it's the perfect region for it. It's the perfect brawler that we've not seen necessarily come to the forefront yet today so far in terms of the meta. I think the Shooting Star would make it very exciting for me.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Listen, I'd like to see it, but I prefer a nice, sharpshooter off, some long-range poking, a bit here and there.
Sounds a bit boring, does it not? Like that sounds by far not nearly as exciting.
It's a great description of long-range mechanical skill art. And that's what I like to see. I like to see, a nice little Piper Nani matchup, maybe some Bell shots in there, a Pierce here and there. Listen, that's my kind of Brawl Stars.
I honestly love the duo of the two of you. Whenever you both are at the desk, Trev gets bashed. I love that. Anyways, we're gonna head straight into our first map of semi-final number 1. It's Shooting Star. I hope you're ready.
झड़ बोलते झड़ी बोलते
Let's see if they're actually gonna listen to Trev here or can give us a boring poke comp on both sides.
I mean, put it this way, if they listen to Trav, then they're destined to lose and destined to fail. Rival Esports playing it safe to start things off, bringing in the Gene. Certainly the heals going to be quite key here. Bans being the Pierce, I like that from Zeta. The Nanny, the Mortis, the Kaze, the Bell, the RT on the side of the Zeta division also. Byron and Mina. Now Mina's going to be able to dance forward, having the Byron heals behind it as well is definitely going to elevate her into a strong, aggressive position.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good shout bringing in the Mina and the Byron along with it as well. Ruffs, I can't say I would have expected, but going to be able to farm quite a lot of those drops off the Mina who's going to be coming in aggressive. And then you can power up the Genes, you know, whatever they bring in as the third, to be able to do a bit more. And you want the longevity in Bounty. You got to stay alive. That's literally the aim of the game. So having the extra damage, extra health, it can go a long way in the late game if you do stay alive. But against Zeta Vision, it's going to be really hard to just keep on your feet and not get sent back to spawn so much.
Gus, Carl are two brawlers I'm still looking forward to. We are seeing also a great mid brawler. Maybe pick up that blue star in mid. Frank coming out of State Division. So it's definitely safe to say that we're not seeing any long-range poke comp from either of those two teams. On the right-hand side, we have Gene as the healer, and then Ross and Gray that really just support him. Gray, the only aggression they really have. And then Zeta Division, a completely different story. Two aggressive brawlers with a healer in the back. We're going to see a super aggressive playstyle overall from Zeta Division, which isn't too surprising. That's literally their thing.
If you told me coming into today that I'll be seeing Frank in Shooting Star, I would have said, what year is this? Is my time machine quite working? Like, this is not the place, but in the hands of Zeta, with the Byron, most importantly, I'm looking very much towards whoever is playing on that particular brawler because they're going to have their work cut out. But it's going to put Rival Esports in a very tough spot. I mean, the Gene can do chip damage, it's got the pull, but already, look at Tampo, already right in the spawn side with 4 stars. He's already going absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's expected when you look at this, right? Like, how much health he has, how little damage the opposing team have. I mean, that was a little bit of a poor super from him, but he just stood in their face and surviving. He got six stars now, and he's still alive. They haven't got the DPS to bring him down. He's like, all right, pull the Byron. I won't have the heals, but I've just destroyed you for like 45 seconds straight.
फ्रंट प्लस हीलर ले लिया भाई इन लोगों ने
And I don't really feel so far like Rival Esports have got much of an answer for it. Suzuki is staying on top.
भाई
Double pull. Unreal. What a team wipe. Zeta just absolutely snowballing their way forwards. Well, Frank on Shooting Star. This should not be working in any other year, in any other meta. This would be the most mismatched draft I've ever seen. That's ridiculous. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, just as we were bigging up Rival, saying they've, you know, got a big chance in this game, they get squished as quickly as that. All 3 of them going to bunch up on the left-hand side this time, place these sandbags down. And we need to see this Frank getting the heals. And that's going to be Rio Hey surely falling nice and early on, and Shitampo still getting the heals, and Suzuki can just sit quite comfortably behind.
I can see now why Shitampo coming into this game was looking so incredibly happy. A nice takedown though, there from Totoro. Batman will fall. Shitampo now in a real tough spot between 3. Oh, I just couldn't quite get the heals from Suzuki in time. He will fall, and that puts Rival Esports in the lead by 1 star for the first time.
Yeah, it's a 3-for-3 trade. I don't think he'll be that disappointed about it as long as he can start getting some big plays.
इनको मारना पड़ेगा भाई रफ्स को रफ्स मारना जरूरी है
just knocked back by that Ruff's power up, and that's still going to be lingering on the floor. Good kill there.
Nice trade.
Remains the score tied in stars, but blue is with Rival.
Yeah, great timing there from Totoro. That block there, that one Frank hammer hit would have sealed his demise.
Frank जिता देगा भाई.
Kept out the grasp of Zeta. Now they're going to push deep back in this
easy.
Falls. Zeta Vision absolutely making this look easy. And as quickly as that, they claim the first set in spectacular fashion with one of the wildest drafts I've ever seen. on Shooting Star.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. See, Ark, you can't be wanting that. Like, you actually can't.
I'm kind of sold. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this is a new era for Brawl. I mean, this is what Buffies can do to the meta. And I mean, I gotta say, it's gonna make teams have to think their way through things. Like, this is just a draft now that you've just got to think through all angles of.
Yeah, but realistically, are you telling me you want to see Shatampo walking in a straight line for 2 minutes straight, being spammed with heals instead of like actual mechanical skill?
Look, all I'm saying, all I'm saying is you've got to prepare for this to be a potential reality. We've said coming into today that Frank was one of the best brawlers since Buffy's being introduced into the game. And it just goes to show that even in the most open map in the entirety of Brawl, you've got to bear that in mind. It's still a worthy ban because the pairing of the Byron and the Frank, it's just disgusting.
Yeah, really, really strong. And Mina doing the part as well. 6 kills for her. Went a little bit more under the radar, I feel, because wasn't just getting constantly spammed by the Byron. But Mina definitely doing a good job pinching around the left-hand side, herding them up like sheep, ready for the Frank and Byron to deal with them quite easily. Looks like we're going on to double swash up next. I'm not even going to say hopefully be different, because it'll probably just be the same run it down that Gemgrab's been all day.
Yeah, Frank, first pick by Rival Esports. Certainly, the bush here going to be quite pivotal to keeping Frank in an aggressive spot. If Zeta really want to disrupt that, or if Rival wants to try to step up the Amber now, it is on the cards. If they don't, then I'm sure Zeta will be using it themselves. Shelly, they want to double down, have what is possibly one of the strongest tank counters on their side of the field. They're already playing Frank into the spike, so it's all going to be a tough ask.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised to see the Shelly paired with it, to be fair. 3 Buffy Brawlers picked so far, so it's not like the most far-fetched thing in the world, to be honest with them, but surely they can just go some tank counters with a bit more range and kind of be able to deal with the Shelly along with the Frank at the same time. We'll see what the Zeta Division do go with. I like the Spike as a first, can play the lane, and we've seen it play the mid and Gemgrab as well. So versatile, they can pivot off things if they want to. Mortis still going to come in regardless of the Shelly being there. Surprises me, but he's just going to be targeting anybody but Shelly.
It's a wild time for Brawl, isn't it? When you're looking at a Mortis picked in to a Shelly, a Frank picked in to a Spike. I mean, the rules are just out of the window at the moment. It really is. And that's the power of the Buffy. Let's see what Zeta are feeling for their third and final pick. Trunk is the Spike gem carrier. Trunk going to be going aggressive, or potentially use the Trunk for a gem carrier. It's a possibility. You're going to have faster maneuverability with the help of the ants, so they do have some choices. One thing's for sure,
look के जाएंगे.
the gems with that Mortis. I mean, I feel like whoever's on that brawler is likely to run into trouble. But into the Frank, I mean, we've seen already today with Crazy Raccoon, it's a very, very tough thing as a Frank to deal with a Mortis.
Mighty meat treat that'll keep you on your feet.
Oh भाई.
I don't even know what to say anymore.
Do you want a hug?
No.
You feel you look like you're going for a
इनकी स्पाइक मार लेगा, लेकिन भाई स्पाइक बहुत मारेगा इनकी, देखना.
It really is.
It's not.
We've hugged before.
We have, unfortunately.
स्पाइक के पास अनलिमिटेड हाइपर चार्ज, अनलिमिटेड सुपर आने वाली है.
On one side, incredible. On the other side,
मॉर्टिस के पास भी.
painful to my eyes.
मॉर्टिस अगर अच्छा खेला तो.
I feel like also Zeta Division have played into the Shelly quite heavily. Like they're taking a Trunk and a Mortis into a Shelly. As you said, the rules are being rewritten with the Buffies coming out.
मॉर्टिस हाई टेम्पो खेल रहा है तो जीत जाएंगे ये लोग.
Through the mid here as the gem carrier kind of needs that extra survivability. And yeah, as expected, Mortis didn't really do a lot.
अबे ये तो स्टार पावर ही वो वाली खेल रहा है. स्पाइक हील वाली स्टार पावर खेल रहा है.
Adapts fastest. We've already seen so many upsets today. Zeta Division do look like they are getting off to a good start though, nonetheless. This entire right side now open is going to definitely prevent where she can
ये फिर से आ गई भाई.
Look at this cycling.
कितनी सुपर आ रही है.
He's really struggling here. Another super. Heals continuously coming in. But in the meanwhile, it's Totoro. He's really getting Batman a big, big battle in that mid.
Utapin going forwards here and has a hypercharge and a super. Uses the super as well, getting some good shots in. Stampo going forward.
अबे मिस कर दिया साइड टेम्पो.
Down the bottom, I've just realised that as well. That should be pretty much count for Rival Esports now, as Zeta Division aren't able to do too much and honestly have been making good plays but not getting the kills the entire game, and I don't think that's a skill issue.
अनलिमिटेड सुपर तो है लेकिन मार नहीं पा रहे ये लोग.
Spider-Man's putting in work. There is still time here with Suzuki, but forced back there by the shell shock. Is there a hot dog as well? There is. There's a lot of survivability available to Rival Esports. It wasn't necessary regardless, as Zeta could not close the gap in time.
जितना इजी
Definitely
पिछला वाला खेला
surprising
जीटा ने उतना
way to
इजी
open up
राइवल ने खेला
parts
इस
of the
बार.
map to their advantage. And like you said, Zeta didn't really have anywhere to go by the end of it.
I mean, also the fact that Shelly killed a spike in the backlines too was quite surprising to me. I thought that he was going to be pretty secure in that matchup, get the kill, move up, establish some more ground, which I think he, should be done. They're going to get Mortis gem carrying out by the looks of it, two in the middle instantly, and Batman playing around the left-hand side.
What did I literally say coming in? That's one Brawl that you don't want to have the gems for. Maybe now it could be a play. They might have to adapt around this situation, allow maybe the Trunks to go on more of an aggressive stance to allow Batman as well to really rival this Shelly. But I feel like this is really defensive maneuvers. This is a plan B moment for Zeta.
Well, plan B doesn't seem to be working either. No. Shelly managed to pick up 2 kills there as well. Suzuki down the right side, trying to make a move.
नहीं जीत पाएंगे ये लोग.
Flank of Rival Esports. Super not really going to be as best as he accidentally hits the wall and ends up going the other way. Super from the spike as well, setting up the Mortis.
स्पाइक की स्टार पावर गलत लग रही है भाई, बाकी सब सही है.
He gets the kill, but then again, the hot dog comes through.
Big hit from Ryohi, but nothing connected. Batman trying to earn super off the back of this hypercharge, popped prematurely, but it does slow the Frank, and now Tampa will come in, and that's a really aggressive spot. There's no real defensive maneuver here for the Doug, no hot dog available.
पर बॉल होती तो शायद ज्यादा शॉट लगते शायद, पता नहीं, कुछ बोल नहीं सकते. क्योंकि स्पाइक की स्टार पावर का कोई फायदा ही नहीं है फिर, जब वो खुद को हील नहीं कर सकता तो मतलब क्या ही करेगा हील करके.
Slowed and can't stay in that interaction. There's the super as well. Dog, I think, gets the hot dog at the perfect time here to survive. He will get the Frank, but it's still 8-6.
अब जीत सकते हैं लोग, स्पाइक का हाइपर है, जीत जाएंगे. ओए भाई कैसे?
Yeah, really nice. Just worked so hard on bringing him down. And that's 9-9 now. No countdown for Rival Esports this time. Hypercharge going to be used there as well. Tries to get the pullback from Suzuki. Going in and surely just getting obliterated. Shitampo will get another one, pick up that 10th gem, start the count. Needs to try and dash for this next one. And Batman knows that and tries to open up some room for him. And a lovely
Nice.
through. Can't get any of those gems and the countdown remains even. And he's just cycling hot dogs. He can't die. Batman is going absolutely crazy.
Nice.
Ensuring the shots that follow do earn him enough
Nice भाई, क्या खेल रहे हैं लोग.
And then Statampo goes in when everyone is slowed. It's great synergy between Batman there and Statampo, and they're rewarded for it now with a countdown. But Rival Esports will be doing their best to ensure they can do something around this. The hot dog will bring back then Utapin, trying to force then Zeta into the pocket corner. Is there a takedown? It doesn't look like there is time. Zeta just about hold on. It's neck and neck. I mean, that is incredible. All members of Zeta doing their bit to keep them in that. Batman's got so much work cut out for him. He's got to hit pretty much every shot. He's got to get every super on them, get the kills, get them low, let Mortis and Trunk go in. Because Mortis and Trunk know they can't go towards a Shelly and a Doug when they're not healthy. Or when they are healthy, sorry. It makes it really difficult for them, but Batman doing so much work. So much work. He's so scary. Not afraid at all to pop hypercharge, but ensure the shots that he then lands earn him supers that Rival Esports are not seeing and preempting in that regard. Torres gonna have to go in here, gets a nice connection onto Batman, low HP, but able to survive on as well and continuously tapping here. Great accuracy from Batman there.
Suzuki gonna get caught on this right side, but got a little bit of heal off it and got a kill in there as well somehow. Utapin on the right now, and they're actually looking in a worse spot for the first time in this set here, Rival Esports, because they looked in a powerful position regardless of kind of dropping gems here and there in the previous one. Suzuki round the back, trying to make a move on the left here, and he gets a hot dog, and honestly,
भाई मर गए ये लोग.
kept him alive regardless.
Frank के पास हाइपर है.
Well, Rival Esports now starting to settle in a bit more. Zeta look a little bit flustered together, need to spread out just a touch.
क्या हो गया भाई Frank?
Shots there onto Ryohi and just cycling as well. Hot dog will bring then back Utapin, but straight into the hands of the Trump.
भाई क्या खेल रहे हैं लोग.
And the defensive measure there to Toro trying his best to earn utility, which he gets. A smash, a shell shock, 134 HP, and tempo goes down. It could be now Suzuki's chance to be able to maneuver around, keep these gems in their hands. It's not over yet.
I don't think Suzuki
Mortis फाड़ के रख देगा भाई अब.
they can't get
मॉर्टिस
it
ने हाइपर क्यों नहीं लगाया? आखिरी में भी नहीं
somehow.
लगाया.
Zeta hold on, and rival fall another behind.
Absolutely
इनका
crazy.
वीडियो इतना लैगी क्यों?
The drafts
स्कैम.
require a mad scientist. That is on the hands of Zeta right now. I cannot believe what I am actually witnessing. It's absolutely nuts, and I'm so thoroughly enjoying it.
It is.
इसका
Watching
आंसर
it,
किसी
to be
को भी
honest, so
चाहिए हो
far.
तो
I mean,
देख लो
listen,
स्क्रीन पे.
I've had my complaints.
1 million
I've had my
USD.
complaints, right? And we know this.
Are you coming around?
We're well. No. We're well. we're well aware I've had my complaints, and I think my complaints are valid. I want to see a more mechanical brawl such, holding your lanes, making the big plays at the right moments, not just scrappiness everywhere with kind of the more aggressive brawls, but at certain points of that, it was enjoyable.
I am all for the scraps. Give me scraps any day of the week. I mean, it's just, like I said, the rules are kind of out the window at this stage in time. You've got to adapt. You've got to keep trying things out and not getting too comfortable. That is a dangerous place for me for BSC. I think it's great.
I truly enjoyed watching that match, especially Totoro and Utapin doing phenomenal on those two brawlers, but also overall, I really like what I'm seeing. But then there's Zeta Division, as you mentioned, their draft is just truly good today. Is it Memeshi? Is it the players themselves? Probably a mix of both. I feel like their solution today is just always come in with two super aggressive brawlers, add a DPS brawler, and it works out so perfectly. Now, I really liked the dog idea on the right-hand side. I don't know if it was enough damage to truly go up against that Frank.
Yeah, it was a tough thing. I think going back to your original question and point, I feel like for Zeta, they're just adapting on the fly. That's what I'm noticing the most. I mean, Batman there, you can see 676 DPS. He knew that he had to pull his weight more and provide opportunities for his teammates to whittle down the opposition to allow then the Mortis to come in and strike while the iron was hot. I think the Zeta are just communicating really well. And we had a question mark and a reservation how Batman was going to fit in this roster. I think that is proven a massive point here.
Yeah, well, Rico was the first pick then for Rival Esports on what could be their last map of this monthly final if Zeta Division continue this domination. And, I'm not going to lie, they're starting things off going very similar to how they have been in the previous ones. They've got that aggressive stance, they can take another, they can add the DPS, they can add the heals. Rival, they seem to be accounting for it a bit earlier this time. They're taking a bit more
Moe,
gear
moe,
so they can manage further range without it getting too
moe.
scrappy with the Rico. Really solid brawler at the moment. The Mo's going to go Zeta Division's way, which has a very good goal scoring capability in Brawl Ball. Just pass forward, super forward, and then you get your super straight back as well. And it allows your teammates to make those connecting passes in overtime as well. So I think that's a great brawler for Zeta Division to have.
Against two aggressive brawlers, once again, Rival Esports needs something to deal with that. Cordelia still open. Otis would be a brawler that I would pick up here. And Zeta Division keeps going with that solution of just bringing in super aggressive brawlers and then adding either a healer
ये
or
वॉल
a
ब्रेकर चाहिए भाई अब
support
इनको.
DP and
वॉल
Semi Pro is
ब्रेकर
gonna come
बढ़िया
in here
रहेगा.
with the right gadget choice.
लेकिन
He
वॉल
does
ब्रेकर
not
लेंगे तो
play
इनके खुद के
into
बंदे नहीं खेल
the
पाएंगे.
aggression that Zeta Division is bringing up against them, but I will double down here. I think they need something like an Otis or a Cordelia's arc. Otherwise, this is going to be hard.
Yeah, Otis for me would be a really solid shout. But Trav's immediately happy, and I can see why.
इनको जाना चाहिए
So
हैंक.
aggressive, and
मजा
it's
आएगा
crazy
हैंक.
just how that's a brawl that kind of escapes the radar a lot of the time. You got to take it so seriously, especially in Brawl Ball, and can really upon an aggressive stance when you're on the defense. Ensure a goal. Meeple, it just seems a very common pick, and I don't mind it, but again, like you say, gadget choice, very influential as to whether they go with the Rage Quit or the Mansions of Meeple, and that's the first time I believe seeing Ziggy here today, a brawler which hasn't really kind of found its place so far in the meta. What are your thoughts?
I think for good reason we haven't seen it today, to be honest with you. I think I'm not entirely sold on the brawler as a whole in terms of it having a place in the meta. I think in this matchup, it can be fine, when you're playing against a Meeple, if she's using Mansions of Meeple, then you're going to be able to shoot out regardless, not be stuck and kind of partitioned away from the rest of the action. I just don't know if it's the thrower I would pick.
I'm kind of with you in that regard. I feel like it's going to have some suppressive abilities once you're able to earn super, high charge especially, but it is a bit passive and very hard to kind of keep things under control when you're being aggressed. But with the Mina on your side, that's going to be somewhat of a helping hand. Let's see now, it's an open door here, should leave to Tampa to be able to walk this in. Doesn't want to feed to Tara too much, thought better of it.
भाई इसमें अपना क्रो भी अच्छा है भाई।
thought the same. I thought maybe could have even tried shooting it.
कौआ
Because, giving up possession of the ball in that situation is not the worst in the world if
ए,
you
मुंह
still
पे
got
सुपर आ
control
गया,
of the
जीत
map in
गए लोग।
general. Rio Hayes going to go down here, and now Stampo gets a super, and this might be the opportunity they need to score. Totoro not going to be able to get anything off to stop this, and Yutupin taken down as well as Zeta Division take that first goal, and Rival Esports been pinned in their half of the map for the entirety so far, and Stampo cycled super there too.
Fantastic storm out from Tampo and then putting
ब्रॉल वॉल में बहुत अच्छा है
very
भाई
tight
मो,
spots.
और
Out to
जिम
right.
ग्राम में भी अच्छा है।
Now Super. Robo retreat star power will give him additional maneuverability, and that will push back Tampo even more. So I like that. That was good alleviation from Rival Esports, who've now got the ball. Low HP.
गोल तो नहीं होने
Easy
देगा
Suka
भाई
to
ये।
deal with on this goal line. That should be enough taps.
हो गया
The
भाई
back
लॉल।
couldn't get it in time. Totoro scores it. Keeps Rival Esports alive in this game.
Yeah, really nice there from Rival. Just cleaned up every single one of the lanes really well and left Suzuku all alone, and he's never going to be able to do much in that situation. Totoro again, going to be able to pick up the right-hand side with a little bit of help from Yutupin, but Batman trying to equalize this into a 2v2. Now going forwards, can Suzuku get the ball? It's back into his hands, but the Tara Super scores it, and he just bounces it left of the goal. Stampo being chased down by that support from beyond. And Batman having to back off. Hypercharge coming out to stop them from being able to evade these shots as well, but the speed of the Rico is doing a good job of it.
Huge pin staying alive there on 185 HP. Ridiculous stuff. It really goes to show how good that star power can be if you're able to avoid the shots. Now trying to take this left-hand side stance, but Batman coming back into the spawn will have something to say about that. In 25 seconds, these walls will be going down, and then I kind of like Rival Esports' chances.
Batman going really aggressive here and times that final shot perfectly. Suzuku just pinned yet again by Yutupin, but the speed maybe also gives him the
नाइस,
situation. He's going to go down, and that's going to be a team
इजी
wipe.
विन है भाई।
Just respawning now is Ryohi, who has the hypercharge, but I don't know if he's going to be alive to keep this goal out. The super comes in, he's going to be forced to use it or die. He does go down, the
इजी
super
भाई
comes in
इजी।
now, and Totoro with the stun, but he hasn't cleared it far enough, and Suzuku will find the back of the net and put Zeta Division on match point.
Absolutely surgical towards the end there from Zeta. Really nice composure, and is ensuring that all that utility was placed at just the right moment, because honestly I was kind of wondering with just the Tara, could they have just popped hypercharge, run the ball down the map, but there was a gravity to hand, so I think playing it cautious was the right move. And for me, Rival Esports have not really been in this game thus far. Now past Tampo, this could be another shot on goal. One off the line. 2v1 now. Utpin should be able to get it just enough clear to allow Ryohei to come back into the spawn, but that was a close call.
Yeah, Batman just going to play the ball to the middle here, keep in control of it. Considering they've got control of the map at the moment and enough time for Stampo to come back up and pinch as well, is going to be huge. Here's the Ziggy Super as well. It's opened up so many avenues for them, and a great gadget on the right-hand side. Sorry about Batman. This might be a goal here as well with Ziggy shots coming over the top. The shots now from Suzuku will find the super,
इजी
and that
बेबी।
allows him to take the ball. Still, one goal required to take the entire series, and Rival Esports backs against the wall, leading an entire reverse sweep now. And Shatampo, I doubted this brawler, but it's been working.
It's going to be a tough ask here for Rival Esports, but we have seen crazy things already today. Wouldn't it be poetic to see just one more reverse sweep? Ryohei has got gravity, Batman low, and now he's been doing his very best to continue to delay the onset. But it is just one goal needed from Zeta, and they've got all the time in the world.
Oh, Ryohei's really not enjoying this matchup, is he? Just getting pinned again and again and again, and another super available from Shatampo. Always seems to have a similar angle towards the goal, pushing them towards the other side of the map. Oh, what a connection that is as well. It shouldn't be too far off. Another one now, and he can keep this situation like this. Suzuku's going to be able to go forward. There's the hypercharge, and they don't even need it. Zeta put the nail in the coffin of Rival Esports and push themselves.
इजी भाई 3-0 कर दिया।
Unreal from Zeta. And again, putting to bed questions of the roster, questions of their 2025 performance leading into this season. They are looking stronger than ever. And again, with the help of Meshi, their drafts are looking dangerous.
And they looked like they had so much fun doing it as well. Shatampo on that first map, Shooting Star on the Frank, just having a field day. Mortis just the same on Double Swoosh afterwards. And since it's Valentine's Day, I would love to play some Frank today. Trev, do you want to be my Byron?
No.
I shouldn't have asked Trey. I think he's not really buying into all of that Valentine's Day talk. But it
Yeah.
really looked like they had a lot of fun. On the other side, though, Rival Esports had such a great showing. It has been one of those teams where we truly did not know where they would be standing coming into today. But honestly, Totoro and Utapin, I love what we've seen from them. Utapin on that Rico, an absolute menace.
Yeah, and it's hard not to love what they brought to the table today, especially when you look back to that quarterfinals and how we expected things to go. Again, our predictions completely in the mud. You know, your first real appearance in a BSC, they can be so immensely proud of themselves, can't they? I mean, they really, really can. It was always going to be a massive, massive ask to see them go to a grand finals position here today. I think they can still really hold their heads high and really looking forward to seeing more from them this season.
And we talked a lot about those buffy brawlers, how strong they are in the current meta. We've seen a lot of spikes so far, a brawler Kenny has mentioned quite often. Frank has been the brawler though right now, Frank and Mortis both. Frank has been the first pick in both the first and second set, and now he has been banned out on this third set as well. Is he gonna be that best brawler in the meta right now, Trev?
I mean, if you're looking at this, you kind of sold on it, right? Regardless of Rio Hey picking up here and losing, it did its part, it did well. They got more kills, they just weren't able to hold on to the gems in certain situations. You know, we've been seeing a lot of Spike as well, and I think it's a more versatile, kind of more safe pick. But people are picking up Frank and having great results, to be honest, as well. And although I don't like the scrappier style of Brawl Stars, you can't deny that Frank has been the star man so far.
Killjoy.
I truly like the Frank, the Mortis, all of those buffy brawlers coming in. I really like the Rico just now as well. We'll see which other brawlers that might not even have a showing yet will have a showing later on. Talking about, let's have another look at our predictions.
Do we have to, really?
I don't want to. I'm told we have to, so let's just do that now. And looking at the semi-final predictions, I actually, yeah, we're going to talk about that when we see. First, let's head into our quarterfinal predictions that are in shambles. They really had to bring up that graphic yet again. Can we just skip that and go over to semifinals, please?
Is 1 out of 4 really that bad?
Yes, it's terrible.
Is it?
Thank you. That's what I wanted to talk about. Zeta Division,
not much better.
the clear winner. The clear winner for us for the semi-final number 1. Semi-final number 2, I'm gonna stick with WWL. They truly gave us, the show of the year so far. It's the first monthly final, but still, it was phenomenal.
You found a forfeit, Sonny?
No, I think WWL is gonna take that one. You gotta believe in the underdogs.
At least it's a competition of Brawl Stars and not who can create like the least imaginative name ever, because WWL and ABC, they're really not.
भाई allow है ये हाँ भाई allowed है
I mean, a massive amount of talent on both sides.
किसने मना करा है
Names aside, the talent speaks for itself, and you know, especially for WWL.
किसने मना करा है भाई
Last year, the
सब allowed है
they never really shone through out those quarterfinals. It wasn't really a thing. So now they're going to be really put to the test.
First time ever having a Korean team in the semifinals. I think that's a huge moment for them. And now they, of course,
क्या खतरनाक खेला है भाई अभी सब नहीं मतलब लगभग
finals. And Trev, yes, maybe the names aren't the most imaginative. The teams are, though, as you said, it's a wild mix of players that have been in the scene for quite some time.
इसमें ABC ये थे
we're seeing for the very first
अबे ABC ने उनको हरा दिया भाई क्रेजी रकून को वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस को हरा दिया ABC ने
That was quite painful. I was like, Milk Rayo's popping off on more brawlers than one. Yeah, it was a little bit stressful, I won't lie to you. But yeah, it's going to be a huge matchup, this one. Both of them really wanting to get points on the board early, because listen, Ark's called me a killjoy and I'm about to be a killjoy again. I'm not sure if I can all right, calm down. I'm not sure if I can see either of these two teams possibly even throughout the entire year making a grand final again. So they need to get the points on the board whilst they're available. Both of these teams, I'm going to argue it's 50-50 in this matchup. They're going to want these points early on in the year, because they might get semis, but I don't know if they'll get to the grand finals again.
I feel for me, like, it's such an early stage to really say for sure anything at this stage. I mean, we are just literally witnessing the world champions of 2025 exiting at the first hurdle of 2026. That's the reality that we're living in right now. As far as I'm concerned, anything is possible for me, for ABC. I just feel like they've just got a little bit more of an edge in terms of the
500
experience.
करके
Again,
हटा दूंगा
new
मैं भी
names to
स्ट्रीम
watch.
बंद कर
Let's
दूंगा
watch a chap who's a two-time world champion, Kenji, runner-up in 2021. I mean, people forget that Kenji has got a great amount of experience on that world stage and was this close to lifting a trophy himself.
I think they've already proven that they do indeed still have what it takes, not only to make it into the semis. ABC might very well go into the grand finals. Again, I'm rooting for WWL, but realistically, does any of those two teams have what it takes to beat Zeta Division today?
I honestly hope they do, because I would love more upsets. I would love for one of these teams to go and win the first monthly final when we've all predicted them out in the quarterfinals. For every team in this lower bracket, we were like, they're going out pretty convincingly in the quarterfinals. So if they were to go and beat, have an incredible run, beating Crazy Raccoon or Reject, and then going and beating Zeta as well, that really would put in my mind that this region has swapped up who's top dogs and who can go and do well this year. I think at the moment it's just a little bit of a hiccup from the bigger teams until we see them, beat multiple of them in a row.
Exactly, that's the question. Is it just a hiccup from Crazy Raccoon and Reject today, or is it actually that those upcoming teams, that those lower four teams, as we talked about in East Asia, are just getting better and better, and now they caught up with the others?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, either way, though, what a fantastic message to send to the up-and-comers. It really is that, for me, that really encapsulates how today has gone. And that's the best part about Brawl Esports. It's that inclusive, that anyone could come in and knock out the world champions. That's the world that we are living in right now, and I'm all for it.
So yes, exactly. The message is, if you want to play in a monthly qualifier, you better pick up two friends and do so, because you might as well go into a monthly final. You might as well walk through the quarterfinals, land in the semis, and we would love to have you. The huge question is why this is even happening in East Asia at the moment. Why those bottom four teams all of a sudden seem to have caught up with the top. Is it the current meta? Is it the buffies maybe that brings in some unpredictability into the whole thing?
Well, our main question about Crazy Raccoon was how fast are they going to be able to adapt to this new meta? And I think quite evidently a few of these teams just haven't tried to at all. And buffies, don't get me wrong, regardless of if they knew the meta or not, buffies throw in an extra kind of element that can make it a bit more up in the air as to who's going to be able to win it. You might love it. You might love the scrappy Brawl Stars, but there's no denying that in a mechanic-to-mechanic matchup, Crazy Raccoon make it to the finals against Zeta Division. But these more scrappy brawlers, scrappy drafts, and that's part of esports as well. That's part of the game. They're throwing a spanner in the works and changing things up. So I hope that these big teams can adapt just like these newer teams have done. But I feel like coming off the back of 2025, they're just so confident in themselves, and they've won, a load of money. They've won the World Championships. They've won bragging rights. They're like, we're the best team in the world. Why do we need to kind of go and change metas and scrim to be able to beat a team who we should be beating?
Semi-final number one already done, because we had some of the quickest matches, especially in Shooting Star, we've ever seen. Now we want to have a little bit of a more stretched out semi-final number two. I am hoping for a 3-2, and we're starting things out on Bells Rock.
बल्स रॉक बेल्स रॉक ये बेल्स रॉक है क्या बात है वेव जोन को बेल्स रॉक बता के खिला रहे हैं भाई
Or not. Safe Zone is going to be our first map. I think, yeah, doesn't matter. Colt is going to be our first pick here. Definitely another one of those
ओए कॉल्ट आ
since
गया
Colt is
ओए
into the game. And we don't see Colt too often. He's not as picked up as often as a Spike or a Mortis, Frank, but he's going to be super good on high steal with Was, Ember on the other side, also just a huge damage dealer.
गए भाई
They are
टॉप
coming
पिक है
in,
भाई
so
एम्बर और
we'll
टीएस
slow down this race a little bit. Pierce just there to pick off anyone who wants to come too close to safe.
We were saying in rehearsals yesterday, or at least I was, that I really feel like Colt has massively got a place, especially since the Buffy, but it is going to be kind of limited mainly to Heist. But now that Colt
अबे
has
इसको क्या हो गया जल गया क्या ये
have more of an edge
जल
to
गया
kind
है
of
शायद
slow
ये
your opposition, to land more shots, to
नाक के
have more
नीचे और
bullets available, it makes him so
होड़ी पे
dangerous.
कुछ हो रहा है
It
भाई
really,
इसको
really does. And in Heist, that
काल
will be absolutely shredded. There's another brawler which will do just that.
काल
I
क्यों
like
लिया है
the
चापी
pace on
ने
the side of ABC. The Pierce, the Amber, I like it, but what ABC are cooking is much more than my
पियर्स कैंसिल कर
Yeah,
सकते हैं
they've
काल
got
का सुपर.
some serious, DPS from the Colt at range. Carl can get up close, and they've got the mobility as well. That's the thing. You're more than likely going to be bringing in flying hook, able to go across that water, put yourself in a more aggressive position, open the map for your teammates. And Colt can
Kaze.
absolutely shred the safe and deal so much damage. They're going to go with the Kaze as their third and final, so it's a definite aggressive mobility route that they're going to go for. The Fan Storm on safe can do good damage, open it up for the Colt. So I think I really like this composition. Cordelius over the other side clearly being a targeted pick towards that Kaze.
I feel like the splitting up the safe into having 3 shields now helped the meta on Heist a little bit, that you can't just rush safe, but I still feel like you just want to have quick damage onto safe. And if you look at those two comms, ABC's comms does that quite effectively, whereas WWL is looking to defend mostly. All 3 brawlers usually used for the defense. Maybe the Ember can go to refund, but Cordelius definitely just stays in the back. Personally, I think ABC is gonna win because of that.
Let's see how it unfolds. I'm kind of on the fence a little bit regarding the Cordelius. I mean, if it gets some value, then great. I think that it will be quite good both into the Carl and the Kaze. But now Kenji getting some nice amber damage on the safe, and this Nene who's going to be actually on the safe. So chipping away gradually, and meanwhile, I'm kind of more worried on the other side of the field.
Yeah, well, they start off with a pretty strong base race, but he was dealt with fast there, the Colt and Carl as well. So wall breaks coming through. Don't want the Cordelius to have this positioning to be able to just sit in the bottom area of the map. The Pierce Soup coming through, and Carl will connect with it as well, and Cordelius round him and dealt with him fast. Percentage-wise, not masses apart. I'd have expected WWL to do more from that.
क्या खेल रहे हैं भाई WWL वाले.
Demise of the Kaze. And everyone from WWL just still staying together as a unit. A nice connection there as well from Nene, forcing Kenji into the realm, and a chappie's low himself. When he comes out, he might fall very swiftly, and surely will here. Missed shots, bit of a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing no flying hook as well, which I thought was pretty much a given on this map when you need the mobility. That's going to be a burn down, though, and this should be the next crack of the safe done, and it is. Still 70% on the WWL side. ABC got a lot of work to do. Here's the Fanstorm, but he gets taken into the realm, wins that matchup, and evades the Pierce follow-up shots.
Yeah, very, very tight rooms here as now Kenji and the Sheppy forcing their way forwards, but they've got to make the most of this opportunity, and that is not going to be enough. Hypercharge now for Nene as well, and then the Kaze just completely taken out of the mix. Kenji trying his best to get some amber burn, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, this is going to be game to WWL here, starting really strong as ABC just weren't in it at all. Started pretty decent, didn't get too much damage on the safe. I think they risked an unnecessary base race early on as well and were dealt with so swiftly.
Definitely feel like for ABC, just need to slow down the pace a touch. Up the aggression, but make it more calculated. At the moment, it's a bit sporadic and a bit all over the place. Let's see, on the left-hand side, that's Icy pushing himself forwards, trying to get behind enemy lines and make some space for his teammates to push through. But Chappie can clear that right side, which he does, and allow Kenji some space as well. All 3 members now from ABC right together when it matters most.
Yeah, well, a lot more calm, a lot more composed is a good sign here then. And he uses a silver bullet to just be able to pierce through Mamameshi there and get that first crack done. For the control though, 26% damage really didn't cut it for me.
Yeah, they've been able to crack, and that's important to be able to ensure damage and not waste time. Kenji has got hypercharge as well. Might choose to just go straight for the eye of the storm down the map there. Chappie going to be dancing in this mid here with, I believe, Cookie. Now, damage being dealt on the ABC safe.
Yeah, needs to get this 50% and does. Might even be able to get Mins on here in the back line, sorry. As he just narrowly survives. Nene not able to get too much done being so low here, and he does break up a little bit more of that map as well. Minzun can still win this here against the Colt, and he does with that slow. Only about 27% in it at the moment. Mamameshi having to defend. Kenji getting burnt and forcing himself down the left-hand side, but the heat ejector onto safe will deal some long-lasting damage.
Yeah, that's quite crucial. In the meanwhile, though, there will be a countermeasure attack coming in from WWL. Now it's just Kenji. There's a safe crack there for sure. Then he is not done yet, staying firm. Kenji gets the final say. Pierce shots onto the safe as well, though. But meanwhile, this should be a good defense here with the last little for Amber Burn. Yeah, that'll be Icy going down.
Yeah, well, I don't think he minds that, to be fair. And Amber Burn, when he's so low, is a fine thing. Now he doesn't have it going up, and we'll need to start from scratch to get this hypercharge. Good jump from Nene. They're narrowly avoiding that. And to be fair, Kaze going straight towards Amber probably wouldn't be the smartest thing in the world at the moment. Don't want to feed that super when he's got a hypercharge. Now the hypercharge from the Colt might be the nail in the coffin here. But a good super from Pierce will keep him back for now. Kenji coming forwards too, needs to earn a super to be able to make use of this hypercharge that he's popped and doesn't get it anywhere.
15% left on the WWL safe, but now their teammates collecting in the middle of the map, trying to ensure that no one can escape through, but Kenji might be the man to do just that with a lovely burn that right-hand side, and a follow-up there as well, pushing his way forwards, trying to keep the aggression on, but there's not going to be enough time here for WWL. Anyway, that safe needs to be cracked. That takes time, a time away from them. We'll be all tied up now in this first set. It's anyone's for the taking.
Much better and way better managed there from the side of ABC. Really solid stuff, I thought. They didn't kind of go out the blocks, fly in and, you know, do unnecessary trades, feed a lot of defensive supers, let the cord go. They just got the kills, kept control of the start, and then had a damage lead that was irreversible by WWL.
Already, Icy on the left-hand side, making a break with this Kaze pick. And forced back by Cookie there. And actually gets the kill off the back of it as well. Minzun in the mid, trying to tap these shots. Gain something of the controlling factor. Both sides now learning from their mistakes, it seems, really slowing down the pace and looking to tap these shots. Really, Icy struggling on that left.
Yeah, he is not getting anything done, and Kenji should fall here as well. Mameshi just about surviving that matchup with 1,200. Fanstorm comes down, and that should be a big thing for IC to be able to get up. Mameshi actually walks out of it and takes some damage. Now dashing forwards, and he still doesn't get it done. Kenji going in, can't get the kill either, and they're all one shot, but nobody's getting the kills.
Chappie finds one. Oh, a nice silver bullet. He finds two as well. Can he get the third as well for good measure? Chooses to go for the safe. I don't mind that choice at all, as now his teammates are getting some good damage, but the safe not cracked yet. Left on 76%, and a good defense nonetheless from WWL.
Yeah, that 1% might just change the tide of this matchup. They need to get that crack down to be able to get any more damage on it. Nene coming forwards, gets the super off and the jump over the water as well, but honestly doesn't find too much back from it and leaves his teammates susceptible. It's going to be a Charpe versus Minzun in the mid here as well, and that's a matchup that Carl should win and does. But some good shots, and there's 1% in it.
Yeah, nice amplified shots there from the Pierce. Collecting these shells, trying to keep back ABC. Hypercharge there from a Chappie. Decent connections, but it should be finished a bit swifter. He now finally does so, and that's safe. Most importantly, now cracked. That will give a little bit of grace, but it's only 2% in this. It can change very quickly, and that's going to break the safe from the outside as well. And it gives just a little lead as well to WWL.
Yeah, lovely kills from a Charpie, though, I will say. Kaze moving forwards, Fanstorm forwards, and honestly, I think like he could have clipped the safe with that one a little bit as well. Kenji coming forwards, doing a great job on both of them now on the left-hand side. 27 seconds left, and they're going all out for damage, and Nene's trying to do the same.
Kaze on the safe is a dangerous thing. Another safe crack, and it's Chappie with a valuable defense. It will buy some time. He's got a super as well, but he is slowed on that right-hand side. Pierce doing his best there to get continuous taps, but Kenji comes in. Huge aggression from ABC. Chappie alone, but they should be able to get this safe down. I don't think Nene can do it all alone, and it should be ABC that take the set in a fantastic turnaround.
Much better from both teams there, looking really good in that third one. It was more calm, more composed, but ABC just seemed to kind of get the damage when necessary. I thought that 1% left on the safe from 76 to 75 might have changed it a little bit, but then the WWL had the same thing with 77% on the same side, had to waste supers and stuff to try and get that down. So a very well-balanced game, back and forward all the way through, and this could very well be a 5-set series.
It's very close, it really is. I did feel like, especially with the way that we kicked off that first set, that WWL had a bit more of a composed stance. You know, they really did. The cool thing is, was working out really well, and that's what I kind of noticed be diminished slightly towards the later stages. Nene was not getting as nearly much value in games 2 and 3 as he was in game number 1, and that's a bit of credit to ABC to be able to evade around him, communicate as to who's best to take care of him, keeping a Chappie on him more often than not. But a very, very close one. I do feel like you're right. This could be one that goes all the way.
Yeah, it really does seem that. Look how many kills there are from that side, Mememeshi with 26, Nene with 9, and Minzun with 14. And then the other side just aren't getting kills, but they're getting loads of damage on safe. And Nene did a good job, 86,000 damage on safe, that's great. But his teammates couldn't quite do the same amount, and I mean, especially with this amount of kills, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is a disgusting Amber game. Absolutely disgusting, but again, objective is where things matter. If the safe is not being cracked, you know, it's just gonna go against you. It's not a game of kills in Heist, it's all a game of cracking the safe, getting that percentage down and lowered. And at the moment, ABC were able to really amend things accordingly and make it count, but I think this is probably the most closely sided first set I've seen today. What we'd love to expect to see from a semi-finals also, so I'm quite excited for what's next.
Yeah, it should be a good series, this one. That was extremely well balanced. Two good comps, getting good damage on the safe, playing defensively, playing offensively. That's how it should be played. And yeah, just all-round great plays in two very evenly matched teams. The next sets to come, gotta see kind of similar level of drafts, because I thought both two drafts were pretty decent, to be fair, but we're going to take a different approach on things this time. We're not going to be seeing Ambers with 26 kills, because we're going into knockout. So a lot more slow, a lot more calm, probably will be the meta.
Well, we said going into shooting style that it was going to be sharp.
Yeah, but
what happened there? What happened there?
What I'm saying is there's not going to be a 26 kill Amber, and I'm seeing a Byron, so I'm probably leaning towards the fact that it's not going to be a long-range matchup, but, you know.
Pairs well with Frank, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it really does.
Brawl which is not banned.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And listen, I'm not even gonna try and oppose you, because that's likely what they'll go for. And then I'll just look stupid.
I mean, you already do. Let's see what the first pick is from ABC. I do like the Rico ban, though. I think that's quite a wise Spike first pick. It's just always been a very safe pair of hands as a brawler, and has pretty much always been viable, no matter how strong he's been in the meta. Now with the Buffy, very much more in the forefront. And Ollie, a great pairing. First time that we've really kind of seen Ollie, and I think it's the right map and mode for it.
Yeah, he's had his showings here quite frequently in the past. A lot of monthly finals last year, and the postseason popped up a few times on this map as well. So, not surprising to see Ollie come rolling on in. Considering he's got a fairly small amount of damage, though, yes, his Hypnotize is going to be good to be able to get them towards his teammates who do. But if they were to go something with this Byron, like a Frank, Ollie's not going to be able to deal that much damage to it.
Yeah, exactly. Cordelis as well will take Ollie out of the equation. Certainly that will disrupt the Hypnosis as well. I'm looking really towards WWL there to land that at just the right time. Timing is going to be so key here with that Cordelius versus Ollie matchup. Now, do they risk it on the side of WWL?
Mom never misses.
No, playing it safe with the Bell. I don't necessarily mind it. It's not as flashy, for sure. Marking up the Ollie is going to be quite crucial. A tank is something which you've got to really place a heavy consideration on. So now over to ABC for their final pick.
We'll see what they do choose to go with. They did account heavily with this Cordelius for the Ollie, so I don't think they needed another kind of tank counter, but I was surprised to see them not go one themselves to pair with the Byron, but obviously Byron able to do damage on his own and kind of fend for himself at range as well, so I don't mind that either. Gus going to come in as well. Honestly, I haven't seen this too much.
Surprising,
surprises me.
Yeah.
He's been a very good brawler for a very good amount of months now.
Yeah, solid and good, great pairing. I mean, the Gus Ollie, I mean, what's not to love? You know, it's always been the perfect pairing, but it's the Cordelius that still worries me. If you're using your Gus shielding, placing it to Ollie, Ollie goes to the Cordelius and then pushed into the realm, that's a lot of utility just completely wasted by that one singular brawler. So that's my reservation there. And if ABC can work around that, then all the more power to them. If they can maybe isolate the Cordelius and deal with him first, that might be a helping hand. But certainly, Ollie and Bell, Ollie and Gus, it's always been dangerous.
Absolutely. Well, ranged matchup. Pretty much down both lanes, but mostly on this left. Cookie on the right should be able to do a good job against the Spike, but he's getting curveball down at the moment in the life plan, giving him a lifeline in the back side of things here. Ollie going to rotate to the right-hand side if Kenji wants that matchup, but doubling down in the mid, and it's just constant rotations at the moment, trying to enforce this Cordelius versus Ollie.
The tap there from Cookie in the mid on the Spyron pick, as there is a super to hand on the Spike of IC on the right-hand side, and landing that at just the right time is going to be crucial. Life plant handed out. Heels handed over to Kenji. Chappie just holding himself on his left-hand side. Both sides not giving an inch.
Well, the only super to be seen so far is that of IC with the spike. It can go a long way to close off avenues that they will want open in these later stages. Doesn't want to use it on the court though, because he knows that he's going to get realmed as soon as he does. There's a good kill though for Kenji, and Cookie here on the Byron trying to get the job done, but it's going to be 3 survivors on the side of ABC and 0 for WWL. What a move that was from them. Perfectly timed and dealt with very well.
Nicely done. But still, I feel it's quite balanced. This bell pick can work really nicely between the spike and the live plant, but off the back of those heals will be aggression. Nice realm from Nene, but down to 100 HP. He's got to be cautious here. Playing with fire, really. As he comes out, he's got to be able to heal off. Kenji now going into the aggressive position. No mark there on that right-hand side from Minzun, so it keeps the Oli at play. Dangerous. Hypercharge now on the spike. IC getting some taps. Could have got a few more, but does secure the kill nonetheless, making it a 3 versus 2.
Minzun just couldn't run away there. I arguably thought off the start that the spike had misplaced the super, but just stopped his retreat. Kenji going in, jumps over towards Cookie now. Doesn't actually get the hypnotize. Just really unfortunate for him, and that could have changed the tides of it. Byron will just be able to heal up now, and I don't think they'll lose this 2v1. It's possible, because Spike can do so much burst damage, and he has a super here actually as well, but the Cordelia is just going to run him down to stop the Byron from getting beaten. And this should be tied up as he goes straight into the smoke to stop the Byron from getting a super.
Really surprised, to see the Byron come out on top against the Oli there, to be honest. I thought that that wasn't the worst of decisions, made by ABC. It seemed like it was pretty calculated to me, so credit to WWL here. Hypercharged over at Shappy. That can change things on this top left. Will he combine it with Kenji, who's not got the hypnotize just yet? Needs to be able to earn that and really make use of that utility. Bit of a missed reverse polarity gadget there from the bell, and these shots are going to ricochet between, Kenji and IC. They've got to be cautious now for ABC because they're dwindling down low.
Yeah, Minzun's going to be looking to hypercharge towards Kenji here, the most aggressive brawler on the ABC side. Good heals provided here by the Byron, as Nene's going to want to realm Kenji as well as the prime target for a couple of members of WWL now, and Gus pinned back, but going to have that option to kind of burst out with the hypercharge and the super as well. Still waiting on a life plant here, some good connections, and Kenji can't retreat as he's just going to be getting those shots onto the spike. Jump comes in now, and Kenji's going to fall. Can they get the refrag though, as IC gets some good shots? Now follow up, and it's going to be a 2v1 for Gus, and Cordelius and Bell should be able to take this one down. Chappie eating everything that they've got, and I don't think this is going to be possible for him. They kind of just bait him into the gas, and that's a good win there for WWL.
Yeah, Minzun there, I'm really impressed with how well and how patient he was with that Bell pick. That's really what sealed the demise of the Oli and gave his teammates the advantage there. You've got to land those moments. Bell doesn't necessarily pack the biggest of punches, so having that mark and ensuring it and not wasting it, that was key, crucial. Now, WWL with a real chance here of taking a set. They can keep this up. ABC, though, did show great signs of adapting in the previous set, so let's see how they respond.
Yeah, we can see that ABC have tried to rotate lanes, but it's just constant following from WWL, and that's going to be a good kill there as well. Won't be able to refrag, might be able to get the pinch now, though, but some wonderful heals yet again from the Byron onto Nene. And a Chappie can't do a lot about that. For how well they started in that first round, it's been night and day, really.
Yeah, imagine the sharpshooters prevailing, Trav.
Hey, there's sharpshooters, just top-tier brawlers, I can't lie to you, but it's not like the other side don't have them as well. Like, they've got the Gus who's, just trying to force a matchup that he's not being given, and he's having a real hard time.
Yeah, I see he's struggling massively. Another mark placed onto a Chappie. Nelly just jumping over the wall, not afraid at all of the Gus shielding, and rightly so, stays alive. And now in a 2 versus 1, IC on this spike. Can't really do too much. Let's see whether he can bring some goods with his Buffy brawler to the table. I feel like now it's just a question of not feeding, go to the gas, save it, and just try to bring back and reverse sweep this set. That's all ABC have got now.
It's going to be so tough to get this done, because no matter what ABC try, WWL have got an answer. So to be in this position, got to be so hard for them. They're trying Spike down the mid now, and having Kenji just run it down one of the lanes, but Cordelius will just follow him wherever he goes.
Yeah, exactly that, and you can see already the shadowing of WWL is absolutely on point. Nice jump away. That could be a nice super there, just to kind of give some better positioning. Not going to do too much to their opposition, but give a bit of a stronghold for ABC. Kenji jumping away, still holding back this aggression. But as time goes on, if ABC can hold this mid, the gas will force the hand of WWL.
Yeah, well, it was a good jump from Kenji, evaded the super of Nene there as well, so he's not going to have any of that because he can't seem to get this radius within range of Kenji either without putting himself at risk of being supered off. Spike going down the right-hand side. Doesn't mind kind of a 2v2 in that situation because the curveballs will be flying when there's two there.
Now comes a preemptive hypercharge from IC. Not going to get anything off the super back though. That's a bit of a waste, and actually goes down himself. A 2 versus 3. It's going against ABC now. As WWL really are putting on a great showing in this second set. Double hypnotize though from Kenji. Can't seal it. And that will be the set. WWL answer back.
Pretty much the perfect answer to what we saw from ABC off the start. They take the first set, the first round, so convincing. 3 members alive, 0 members of WWL. But then it just goes completely the other way, and we barely see ABC getting any kills at all. They're being followed across the map to not be able to get those desired matchups, and I think it's really well played by WWL there.
This is what we love to see from the semi-finals, back and forth. It's been the closest match that I've personally felt today so far. One that deserves to go the distance and really come down to the mechanics, the way it should be. And all tied up as we go into our third set. And the draft's pretty much on point for me. Gameplay as well. It's really just coming down to the adaptations, the small microcosms along the way.
I'm gonna stick with them though. I still feel like WWL can turn things around here. They did have to make it a reverse sweep before. That's exactly what they need now again, Trev.
Yeah, I mean, it's strong plays, really. It is such a close game, and 4-4 and 4, 4-3 and 1. Like, obviously, it's a kill game, right? So the team with the more kills, usually in knockout, at least gets the wins, unless you kind of get a load in a round that you lose. But it's just not enough. IC couldn't really enforce the matchup against the Cordelias. They were just following people around. Kenji had his moments, but I don't feel like the Ollie pick was really warranted so early on. I feel like they could have definitely gone something a little bit more versatile because he was just the one being bullied by everyone.
Just looking at the picks so far, Ark, you feel like the set that WWL took, was that solely the draft, or what was it? Why did they start to turn things around?
Playing to their strength is kind of how I felt. You know, they just were able to really utilize the Bell, most importantly, a brawler, which in this meta, as we've already spoken about, tough to make work. You know, it's really not that kind of flashy brawler. It's not the assassination brawler. The taps take time to really land the punch. And having that mark was crucial. So the timing for Cookie there, I think, as well. Again, we kind of almost forget a player that last year we saw on Genji. He's never made a semi-finals before. Like, this roster in itself is really, really excelling for me at this stage of the competition because they've never been here before, really. So making good decisions and staying calm under pressure because, again, this spot is not familiar territory.
Let's still say, though, ABC, a phenomenal roster. I feel like ABC means they're still FA, so you better go and pick those guys up if you don't have a roster on your own yet. ABC looking mighty strong. Personally, I'm rooting for WWL just so I can rub it in afterwards that at least I got one prediction right today compared to you.
Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal for us, I won't lie. I'm heavily rooting for ABC here just so you can't do that. And I won't even rub it in because I'm humble. Did
you not put the word humble in a sentence?
When it comes to predictions, that's what I am. I pride myself in being humble. I'd never flex anything like that.
I've never heard so much Coswolf in all my life. What are you talking about, you being humble? You're the first to put a medal on your own.
No, that's not true. I'd never do that.
We're on Pinhole Punt now at the third map here. Frank, Rico, and Meeple are going to be banned out by the side of ABC. All 3 of those brawlers we have seen on Brawl Ball today. So definitely makes a lot of sense to ban those out. Especially if you have the first pick, you can decide the pace of this whole round. They already go in with a tank counter here, banning out the Frank. So I don't really feel like WWL have many options here. They're going to go with Mina anyway, despite the tank counter on the other side. So ABC was trying to prevent that, but it obviously didn't work out here, Ark. Mina, is that a bit too risky, or will it work out just fine?
It will work out just fine. That's just how I
There
see
you go.
Mina right now. I mean, maybe not, but certainly, I mean, if you're playing into the Otis, it's not going to be easy. That's safe to say. But a nicely timed windmill gadget, at just the right pinnacle moment to block that mute, it's definitely on the card here. But I think just the maneuverability. Mina is that brawler that very much for me now is escaping a lot of the bans. It's a first pick worthy brawler, and despite the buffies, really being the shining star at the moment in terms of meta, Mina is just that little bit beneath, allowing her to be more accessible more often than not.
Well, Poco coming in for ABC here to go along with their Otis. I don't know if they're just taking that away from the opposing side or if they're going to go something super aggressive now, because it's not like WWL have, heavily accounted for something tanky, something aggressive, like ABC have. They've already got that Otis, so then if WWL goes something and double down, then they're still going to be okay. But we'll see if that's the case or if they're just taking Poco off their opponents.
The four most picked brawlers on this map in scrims have been Poco, Otis, Frank, and Meeple. And all four of these have either been picked or banned out by ABC, so they definitely did their homework on what could be good in the meta. Here, Kenji, on the other side, we haven't seen in a very long time. I feel like we haven't seen him at all today just yet. Coming in as the aggressor from the side of ABC. Can he hold up against Amina? I'm wondering. He does have a poker in the back, so that's certainly going to help him. They have no range, though, whatsoever on the side of ABC.
I feel like it's going to be tough. I really like this Mo pick here from WWL. It's just very much... I think the win rate today is so high in Brawl Ball for this brawler pick. It just keeps the pressure on time and time again. And, when you're pushed up against the wall and the Mo is chipping away, it's a matter of time before you can't hold firm any longer. It's going to avail to a goal no matter what. So I kind of prefer it to this Kenji. I mean, the Kenji can really be aggressive, dance around these walls, block shots and not feed, then it's going to have a great time of things. But Kenji, that Mo interaction, I mean, already, he's sped a lot over, and we've barely just started.
He did get the kill, though. I mean, that's better than feeding and not getting the kill. He's getting a lot of kills, actually, and Kenji going to be able to slot that one home. It seems like so far...
Easy,
so
baby.
good for the
Easy
Kenji. Good job,
for
Kenji.
ABC.
And honestly, he didn't even really need heals. He did it alone.
Well, Kenji on Kenji has
Let's
just
go.
their Mo
Let's go,
down a
baby.
guy, so
Let's
that may
go.
be a bit of a hole in the strat, but I like the mentality, though, for sure, from ABC.
मैं इधर से क्यों
First,
खेल रहा हूँ,
already
लेकिन
pushing
मैंने
on
वोट
some
किसको किया था? मैंने तो
opportunities
इसको
over
वोट
fast.
किया था ना, रेड
Nice
वाली को.
there as well, connections there to Cookie, who's playing on that Finks pick in the mid. Low HP, has to heal and regroup as Nene as well, choosing not to outstay his welcome versus Kenji, who does go down. This could be an opportunity potentially here, especially now
Wait.
that Shafi's gone down.
Yeah, well, IC doing a good job. 1v3 here, actually. Very solid to keep them all low, but Nene will eventually get that kill. Kenji coming back up and trying to get some swipes off, get some heals, gets it through the gadget in the end and gets a kill out of nowhere again. He's always so low, but finding the heals and finding the kills out of nowhere.
Well, potential here.
पोको तो बहुत खतरनाक है भाई ब्रॉल बॉल में.
Does use it aggressively. That could be a mistake here, maybe. But then again, Kenji is still in play. All three members of ABC standing, and now Nene too low. This should be a straightforward goal. But off the wall, a fumble. It is scored, but that could have gone another way, and not easy breezy from ABC. But a game nonetheless.
अभी मोहम्मद है भाई इनके.
Pretty sketchy towards the end, but for the most part, they were okay. They didn't really have to, they maybe had to fend off one attack. They had two pretty convincing ones, with Kenji really being the spearhead in a lot of those pushes, and he has to be. He's doing a great job of just running them down. They've put the Finks on it now, and I don't think he's going to fare any better than the Mo, to be honest.
Well, this time, Kenji on Kenji felt better of it. I quite like that.
Yeah.
You got Kenji on Kenji, got IC, got Cooking. There's a lot of ease in this match. But this time round, just choosing to play it slow. There's not that much utility. He wouldn't mind.
Kenji on Kenji is very good. Nice.
Aggressive, so I quite like it so far. But it's very much WWL on the defense yet again.
Easy हो रहा है भाई ये तो.
He's obviously healing now, but it just feels for the most part he's playing a battle Poco. Like he's just running
Okay, Poco का गोल है.
that doesn't have heals, and that's going to be a walk in on his own. Lovely stuff again from ABC, who just seems to be running away with this one. We've seen
फिर से सुपर है भाई केंजी के पास.
It's definitely more sided so far, but time potentially still here It's not over yet, but one more goal will be a set for ABC. Now playing a bit of defense. Kenji needs to make some space. With potential Poco heal as well. It will be enough to be able to defend here. Right-hand side, Cookie now muted out. Perfect time from a Chubby, alleviating the situation. And that should be enough.
हाइपर लगाना था भाई इसको मो को इधर.
But now the high ground back with ABC.
अब कोई फायदा नहीं. 1v3 कर सकता था पहले. अब तो नहीं कर पाएगा क्योंकि ओटिस के पास सुपर है. मैं भाई
And they need a goal, but every push they try and make is deflated instantly.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot to be in now. That was great from a Chubby.
हाइपर लगाएगा केंजी अब.
In the bushes. The hypercharge connection is onto the move that had hypercharge as well. Taking him out the equation.
गए भाई हार गए.
And now the Kenji as well combination. And there is the goal. ABC will claim the set in what was much more convincing for me. Much less back and forth. As
2 विन हो गई ना, मतलब 2 सेट.
That was a wonderful performance from
2-1 हो रहा है.
WWL, as I said, I think they got out there half twice in the entire game, and both of those pushes dealt with very easily by ABC. So a wonderful performance yet again from those guys, and now only one away from meeting the Zeta Division in the grand finals. And I don't think either of these teams would have thought they'd get to the semis. Never mind, probably go further and make the finals.
I feel like that's a fair assessment, honestly. At this stage, it could well go to a fifth. There's definitely the mechanics and the skill. The talent is with WWL, no doubt about it. But so far, ABC have been adapting every step of the way. And that was the most convincing set I feel so far in this series.
Mechanically, I really like what we're seeing from WWL. They did push it to a reverse sweep in their quarterfinal. I feel like they can make it to set 5 here as well. Kenji, on that Kenji, looked very, very strong with the Poco in the back that, yeah, as you said, was playing more of a battle Poco, not really healing him too much, but still enough for Kenji to just almost never die and get a lot of kills along the way.
चापी मैं हुआ चापी.
For WWL here.
Just seemed like he didn't really have any good matchups at all, to be honest with you. Every matchup he went in, he was losing. Poco couldn't really miss against him. Kenji just ran him down with too much, HP and occasional heals from the Poco. But I do feel like Kenji was just, fending for himself, like as you just mentioned as well. As I said, the battle Poco healed him occasionally, a few good hypercharges here and there with the screeching solos, but like every member of that roster was just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah, it wasn't really kind of combined. It was just every man for himself. That doesn't work in Brawl. It's a team game for a reason, and yeah, it's about a bit disjointed, not really working out too well. Whereas you saw in the comp that we saw in sort of ABC, good synergy with just the draft itself, but also the team mates working much more as a unit.
And Ark, it's been a huge talking point coming into today. Kenji kind of retiring last year, then coming back as a coach. And now, all of a sudden, he is standing here today and he's performing super, super well. Is he just back like he's almost never left, or do we still see him shaking off some of that rust?
I kind of feel like, regardless as to how many years pass, if you've been on the world stage and made it to the grand finals, with that just comes an exterior of steel. Like, you're able to stay composed. You're able to be a leader as well. I think that's really quite relevant here, and it's been working out. I think that everyone in Brawl can relate to the idea of, like, on the pro scene, when you're out, they love to pull you back in. That's just kind of how it goes, and Kent today might be onto a winner.
He's been playing incredibly well, to be fair. A lot of these brawlers have been his comfort brawlers, and I think that's kind of the best way to get back into esports if you've been out for a while. Play things you're comfortable with, and I think, luckily for him, the meta is definitely catering to what he likes. We've seen him playing the Mortis a heck of a lot. The Kenji there is a brawler that he would have played anyway. Listen,
I'm happy. I'm happy.
For the most part, I'm quite happy as well, because this is giving me like some serious 2020 vibes. If they take a Tara now, this would be the perfect rounded out thing I've ever seen.
Gene?
Exactly.
That's the classic. That's the classic.
There's just few things in Brawl Stars, like what you mentioned, Ark. You can't ever really leave. Either you come back as a player, you turn into a coach like Mumeshi did, or you turn into a caster. Like,
whoa. Imagine.
Why did you make that sound like the worst option?
What were you
I mean, I did the same. I did the same. So I'm here still as well. So yeah, But that's just the thing that happens. And Sandy and Max is also something that we've seen ever since Brawl Stars was a thing, really. We're seeing it again here from ABC. They're not going to pair it with Jean, which was the age-old comp. They're going to pair it with the Mortis here, which I like a bit better on Double Swoosh, honestly. Max is the mid-gem carrier. Sandy would honestly work just as well. Both of those have been used at that in the past. And then a Choppy, maybe Kenji again on that Mortis to bring in the aggression. We do have a lot of answers, though, on the side of WWL with both the Spike and the Otis. Mortis isn't going to have an easy race here. Lily going to come in as last pick. Do like her in Gem Grab. I'm not sure, though, if it's going to be enough. I really like the comp from ABC.
It's really going to depend, in my opinion, heavily on what this Lily brings to the table. It can make a comp, it can break a comp. It's that kind of brawler. I feel especially when you're looking into the barrel of a Max, which is going to have a lot of range against you. This Mortis interaction, more often than not, with the help of the Buffy, will probably favour the Mortis, especially now with the combo spinner. So there is a reservation there. I feel like Nene's got his work cut out and has got to bring home some goods.
We're heading into the game now, and my fingers are crossed for WWL. You can be sure of that.
Yeah, my fingers are crossed for ABC. Let's go, guys. Let's go. I just want to see the best game possible. At the end of the day, my prediction being right would be nice, but so far IC doing a good job getting a lot of this supercharge here off the Lily, who's kind of rotating back and forward and doing ABC are in a wonderful position already, but good shots from them, and WWL find a couple of kills.
Yeah, Minzun there coming in just the right time, because that was definitely going to be a perilous position to find themselves in. Great fat splatter there from the right-hand side of Cookie. And there, Kenji goes down again, not able to secure these kills. And a hypercharge, the buffied hypercharge available in this mid on the Spike. So, yeah, it's not really working out too well so far for ABC, despite the gem lead.
Yeah, well, they're getting some control back now, and a surprising attack from Kenji might see him getting out here. Lily not going to be close, and he's going to pop the gadget. Countdown starts, but Kenji's got to be back safe along with the Max here as well. Otis flanking around the right-hand side, and Lily will pick up a kill, but waits the super.
Massive steal. That was pivotal now. Can WWL do something here? There's a hypercharge coming over the left-hand side. Minzun doing his best. Kenji susceptible there. A fast spot that Shabby falls. Gems are dropped. It's a reset. There's a chance, a real chance here of a steal. But the stun. Can Minzun make it out alive? The Max, no. Shut down. It's a scrap. But the Gems back with ABC.
I thought that Lily was going to have a gadget to get out there. He just picked up a few gems and dipped, but he couldn't quite get it done. Otis knows he needs to use his super on the Mortis to get up, but he can't use it because he needs it towards the later portions of the game. Lily coming forwards and yet again pinned in. Super's there, but he gets the kill. Kenji's getting ready to get the refrag and does. Still no gadget there for Nene. And once more, the countdown restarts.
Oh my word, Chevy did save the phase shifter until just the last moment, but it wasn't enough. He still went down. And as time goes on, surely for WWL, it only gets harder and tougher. There's a hypercharge for Nene, but he can't land it. The dashes are there. And ABC move on to match point. Only just.
To be fair, for the most part, they didn't seem like massively in control of the game. They just had a few gems here and there, and then they, managed to retrieve a couple, dropped a couple. Such a scrappy game in those back lines, reset after reset after reset. But ABC managed to hold on, putting themselves on match point, and WWL have so much to fight for, but need 2 games in a row to drag this to a set 5.
Kenji already behind the enemy lines here. Goes down very swiftly there to a popping pinkish, I believe, of Minzun. Now Chubby getting aggressed by this Lily of Nene. Sweet Dream stunned out, Kenji for support, but ABC got nothing on the board just yet in terms of gems.
Yeah, much better start for WWL here, and 3 members of ABC all on the right-hand side. Can't really seem to find a matchup that they like. And Kenji just dashing around the place, trying to get a super, making something happen, but he's getting shut down every time.
Nene's lurking to try to find that connection as soon as he can get a firm grasp on either Icy or a Chuppy. Bit of a stalemate. No one wants to move first. A bit of a game of chicken. Nene could not get the pickup, and Chappie there still weak, holding 2 gems, bringing everyone together for ABC to ensure his survival. Now in the mid, Minzoon's on 6, now potentially 7, and got to be very cautious because there could be an attack from this right-hand side very quickly from ABC.
Yeah, waiting for the right moment to play this Sandstorm, and they still left a bit of grass over the left-hand side unattended, but now they know where they are. Nice mute coming in there from the Otis as well, but that means Kenji knows he doesn't have another. Nene going in, does find the kill, but still didn't get any gems back from it. Invis is once more into the realm, trying to find IC, but he just backs off.
Not sure that was actually even a body block from Kenji potentially here. Nonetheless, ABC are starting to slow down this pace, get some gems, start to work this map. The 9th gem potentially here, stolen by Kenji, but that is going to be keeping them split. He can't really go as aggressive now at this stage of the game with the gems so close together. He doesn't want to hand over anything. Now 8 over to ABC as well. Nene's lurking. We'll probably find IC, but the Sweet Dream stun is there, keeping him back, and now muted out. Everyone going the aggressive. Nene goes down though. It's Trace back and forth for the countdown with WWL.
Yeah, Kenji with a super, and I can't imagine he's going to be too far off hypercharge either. There's the 9th, but they're going to need another one now. I think it's off their side, so not too much of a risk, but Kenji got to be careful as Nene still lurks there. Misses his super, though. That's horrible from him. Nightmare and a super to follow up as well will make it a 3v2 to fight for this next gem, which they get off WWL's side.
ABC cannot leave this mid. They need to contest it still. Nene's dangerous with hypercharge, but it's missed again. A huge whiff, and ABC retreat back into the spawn side. It's down to the body blocking potential. And Chappie's low. He's got to heal. Kenji there for support. Can WWL make anything of this? No! It is going to be a grand finals appearance for ABC. Wonderfully done. What a semi-finals.
Can't ask for much more than that. A wonderful performance from ABC. And with who they've taken down today, extremely deserving of this grand finals position. But next, their biggest opponent in Zeta Vision is going to be a very, very tough one. But if they win that, no one can say they didn't deserve it.
After those 2 semi-finals, I'm truly looking forward to what the grand final has to bring. ABC versus Zeta Division. We have one last look at the match we just witnessed. Kenji once again popping off on that Mortis, looking mighty strong. And overall, WWL at least make them work for it. It wasn't an easy gem grab match whatsoever, especially in the first set. We had like 3 resets in a row. WWL really played well. In the end, they just couldn't hold on to the gems.
Yeah, it was a real scrappy affair. You can see there the timing on the phase shift just not quite there for Chappie. Just a little bit premature. That's what sealed his demise, but so incredibly close. I mean, it really was. I would have loved to see it go to a 5th and final set. That was the one for me that deserved to go the way, but I mean, hugely entertaining nonetheless.
We can only hope that the last one goes to set 5 then to make up for it. The grand final set 5 would be perfect. These 2 teams, a lot of champions going into this one as well, and I think it's going to be an absolute banger.